Okay, so I'm having a little bit of trouble getting my picture on the screen. So I'm gonna make this video just with the app. So for the first part, first I'm going to set up the class, making small group of children, and then I'm gonna make them play some roles. For example, we're gonna have a leader, we're gonna have somebody that is in charge of the app, and we're gonna have somebody that is in charge of the little pieces. So in a different day we can switch roles, and now other child will have to play with the pieces, and other different's gonna take the role of the leader, and it depends how they like together, okay? So when we get that part done, and we get some rules like no throwing away pieces, being gentle with each other. If you want to um, speak to me, you have to raise your hand. When we get all everything set, now we have to present the challenge, okay? For this part, I like to begin with some questions like, well, right now we're going to make a roller coaster, but why do you think it's moving? What's a sensor? What's a actuator? Why do you think you have to put the pieces together and get in order to get a wheel? And there are all this kind of different questions that it can came up that part. So that will be like for 4 or 5 minutes or less, because the big part and challenge is the app, okay? So first we're going to decide our project, and in this case gonna be the wheel, and we're gonna present the problem, okay? In this part we have 4 children. They're playing, they want to get in the ride, but we have a problem. This ride it's not stopping, so they cannot get up. So what are we going to do? How are we going to help them? Well, in this part we have to like first set up the steering wheel in order to make some changes, okay? So this part is very visual. Usually I let them I explain a little bit, like for example you have to find this yellow piece and get 4 of these green ones in order to secure them to the base. So and this part is pretty visual. They can ask me questions. I will be available to help in every single thing they need to get done. But usually this is very simple, because it's just like watching and putting the pieces together. So in this part we have the sensor. In this other part we have the actuator, the motor. So in this part I'm open to any questions that they will have. I can explain, or maybe they want to set them a different set or a different display, and it's okay for me. I just will ask, why do you think that's better? But they can have free hands on everything. So for the wheel, they propose you can make it this way, but if you have a different thing in mind, you can do it. Just you have to explain, what do you think that's better? And we get beginning with the childs. So we have these pieces for the little childs. They're gonna be playing, and we have it. So this is the first part. Usually it takes like 15 or 20 minutes, maybe less. So once we have it, we have to program. And on this part, a program for childs is basically you have to follow some steps and what you have in order to get something done. So if you want to start with a program, you start with this yellow piece, and this one, it's for the how fast do you want to steering wheel be, okay? So it can be slower, slower, and even slower. And this part is the part where the toy is gonna be using like a cycle, okay? So this one goes inside a cycle, and it's made for the rotations. For example, if you want to make half of the tour, or you want to make one tour, so you can have it here. You can put more, or you can just put it like here in just a quarter of turn. If you wanna play what you have programmed, just hit the play button and it will start playing. We have more pieces that we can make to our program. For example, you can put some noise. You can take them out. Usually if you have questions of this, I have a sheet when you can read which part, what does it make each part, or you can just ask me and I will tell you. But the fun part is that they make their own thing, like explore, and I think that's a better way to learn how to program. For example, we can make that turn and we can go to first to the left and then to the right, and at the end we can put some music or maybe an animal sound, or my favorite one, the music. And if you remember, you want to stop, so this is the piece that makes the stops. So just hit the play button and it will do whatever you want to do with your program. Okay, and this part is when they can be creative and when they can get some advice from me. Usually I walk through the aisles and make them questions or just see what they are doing. If they're having any trouble, I'm here to help. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. At the end of the class, we pick them everything up and we make some questions like, why do you take those decisions? What do you think that's better for the children to get the ride? And make them know that whatever they thought when they begin the class, now at the end of the class it could be much better because they practice and they make some changes. When we have some children that are very smart and they are willing to help someone else, we can pair them with somebody that is struggling a little bit more. But usually I have to first get to know them and then practice at that a little bit more. Thank you very much.